In 480 BC, the vast Persian Empire, stretching from India to Egypt, turned its gaze toward Greece. King Xerxes, son of Darius, sought revenge for his father's defeat at Marathon a decade earlier. He assembled the largest army the ancient world had ever seen, hundreds of thousands of soldiers from every corner of his domain. Medes, Persians, Egyptians, Indians, Scythians, even Greek contingents from conquered cities. A bridge of boats spanned the Hellespont. A canal was cut through Mount Athos. The invasion was unstoppable, or so it seemed. In Greece, city-states, long divided by rivalry, set aside their differences to form a fragile alliance. Athens built a fleet on the advice of the brilliant statesman Themistocles. Sparta, unrivaled on land, commanded the allied army. But the numbers were hopeless. The Greeks needed time to evacuate civilians, time to gather their scattered forces, time for the Athenian navy to become the shield of Hellas. An oracle at Delphi had warned Sparta that either the city would be destroyed or one of its kings would fall. King Leonidas, a descendant of Heracles himself, heard the prophecy and did not flinch. He chose the place where the Persian tide would first be checked, Thermopylae, the Hot Gates. The pass was a narrow strip of land squeezed between sheer cliffs and the sea. At its narrowest, only a handful of men could stand abreast. Here, superior numbers meant nothing. Here, disciplined heavy infantry could hold forever, or at least long enough. Leonidas marched north with his personal guard, 300 Spartans, each a peerless warrior, each sworn to die rather than retreat. They were joined by several thousand allies, Thespians, Thebans, Phocians, and others, bringing the total force to around 7,000. They reached the pass, repaired an old Phocian wall across the narrowest point, and waited. The Persian host arrived like a storm cloud blotting out the sun. For 4 days Xerxes waited, certain that Greeks would flee at the sight of his multitudes. They did not. On the 5th day, he sent his Median and Kissian troops forward. They advanced in dense columns, expecting to sweep the defenders aside. Instead, they met a wall of bronze and iron. The Spartans fought in disciplined rotations, fresh warriors stepping forward as others withdrew to rest. Their long spears outreached the Persian wickered shields and short swords. Wave after wave broke against the Greek line and fell back, leaving the ground heaped with dead. Xerxes sent his elite immortals, 10,000 of the finest soldiers in the empire. They fared no better. The narrow pass turned Persian courage into helplessness. Every advantage of numbers became a liability, as men behind could not reach the fight. 2 full days the Greeks held. Persian losses mounted into the tens of thousands. Greek casualties were light. Then came betrayal. A local Greek named Ephialtes, seeking reward, revealed a mountain path that led around the pass. Phocian guards stationed there were outflanked and scattered. By dawn, Persian troops were descending behind the Greek position. Leonidas learned of the encirclement. Retreat was still possible for most, and he ordered it. The bulk of the allied contingents withdrew south to fight another day. But Leonidas and his 300 Spartans remained. So did 700 Thespians, who refused to abandon their king, and 400 Thebans, whose loyalty is debated by history. They took their final stand not at the wall, but on a low hill behind it, where the ground was wider and they could sell their lives most dearly. As the sun rose, the Persians closed in from front and rear. Arrows darkened the sky. The Greeks formed their phalanx one last time. They fought until their spears broke, then with swords, then with hands and teeth. One by one they fell, shielding their king until the end. When Leonidas at last went down, the Persians fought fiercely over his body, the Greeks defending it with desperate fury. By midday it was over. The pass belonged to Xerxes. Yet the cost was staggering, and the delay priceless. The Greeks had held for 7 days, long enough for Athens to be evacuated, long enough for the fleet to assemble at Salamis. The bodies of the defenders were mutilated in Xerxes' rage, but the victory was hollow. Months later, the Persian fleet would be shattered at Salamis, and the following year the army itself destroyed at Plataea. The invasion collapsed. At Thermopylae, 300 Spartans, 700 Thespians, and their allies did not win a battle. They won something greater, time, and a legend. Their stand showed the world that free men fighting for their homeland could defy the mightiest empire on earth.
To this day, a stone at the site bears an epitaph composed by the poet Simonides. Go tell the Spartans, stranger passing by, that here, obedient to their laws, we lie. Their sacrifice echoes through history, reminding every generation what courage truly means.